Let's be honest, you're not burnt out because you need more me time, you're exhausted because the business you've built no longer fits who you've become. It's time to stop guessing your next move. Take my Business Crossroads checklist. It's free, it takes just 2 minutes, and it helps you figure out if it's time to burn it down, grow it, or sell it. Get it now at www.crossroadschecklist.com. Your business, your rules. Grow a business that works for you. This is the HerBusiness Podcast. Hi and welcome to the HerBusiness Podcast. I'm your host, Susie Daphnis. I'm the CEO at HerBusiness. And today I want to talk about something that every single woman business owner faces. So no matter what your industry, no matter how many years you've been in that industry, no matter if you have 0 staff or 100 staff, and that's the trap of being stuck in the doing, hustling, working, being in go mode 24/7. The trap of everything being on your shoulders. For things to get done, they have to be done by you. It's something I've dealt with during all 30 years of being a business owner, and I know that many business owners find themselves in this exact trap. And it comes with serious costs. Yes, of course, doing everything manually costs you time and money. Those are the usual things brought up in this sort of discussion. But you already know that. Today, I want to talk about the deeper costs of doing everything yourself. I want to talk about some signs that you're getting caught in that trap and how you can shift out of it. Because when you're buried in these manual, repetitive tasks like sending out every invoice or following up every email or doing things from scratch, delivering the services, you aren't just wasting your time and money, you're draining a resource that's even more important, your energy. And your energy is everything. Your energy is the lifeblood of your business. It's what gives you the capacity to be a great leader. It's what gives you the vision for the future. It's why you started your business and how you started your business and what fuels your business to grow. So I want to look at some of these hidden costs. Firstly, your creativity gets a heavy blow when your energy is drained. You know what it's like, right? You're so tired, you can't be creative. When you're so busy doing, there's no white space for innovation. The ideas that could grow your business, those sparks of inspiration that set you apart, they're not getting the space that they deserve. And I have had this experience myself. I have prided myself on being first to market, market leader, innovative, changing things up, challenging the status quo. And then for the longest time, way more than I've been comfortable, I felt like I settled into business as usual because I was just so busy. There was no white space for innovation. And so I have been deliberately creating white space in my calendar for the last year to create. And it's not like, I'll just squeeze in some white space over here in a bit of time and my creativity and inspiration will come back. It doesn't work like that. We need to sort of make more of that time. And you started your business because you had this spark of an idea, a moment of creativity, of inspiration. But now all the little tasks crowding around you might be suffocating that creative space and that creative energy. And creativity doesn't just matter in the creation of your business. It's essential for keeping that business alive after 5, 10, 20, 30 years in business. And I'm working with a lot of women who've been in business for a long time and they come against this, oh my gosh, I have no energy. I don't know if I could keep doing this. I don't know if I want to keep doing this. And you can imagine, I've been in business for 30 years. What would happen if I didn't leave room for creativity? That would mean we would be selling the same services, hosting the same programs, promoting the same offers that we had decades ago. And spoiler alert, we would have gone out of business. Evolution, change, creativity is something that keeps your business alive. Because everything is changing around us. Your ideal clients change, your market changes. So that creativity is needed for you to not just keep up with the changes, but to give you inspiration and impetus and ideas that put you miles ahead of the competition. So your creativity takes a hit. The other thing is your decision-making power takes a hit. What do I mean? When your mind is constantly cluttered with admin, and details that you don't need to be delving into as the business owner, it's so much harder to think strategically. You're reacting to what's directly in front of you. You're not leading. And you can't make clear CEO level decisions when your brain is filled with, when is my meeting tomorrow? Did I post on Instagram today? And your confidence gets impacted. When you get stuck in those repetitive, low-level tasks, you kind of get into this rut. And after weeks of doing these tasks that someone else could be doing for you, you begin to doubt your own ability to run a bigger, more expansive business. You question whether you are cut out for this. Because like I always say, confidence is built through action and only through taking action. So if you're not practicing CEO level tasks, if you're not taking time to make the big decisions, to think strategically, you're losing that skill. Guess what else starts to crumble? Your reputation. Yeah, that's a big one. Things start to fall through the cracks. Follow-ups get missed. Your systems aren't smooth. And that's because your head is so cluttered that things start to fall to the ground. And you might start to look less professional. And that stings, right? I hate it when we slip up. And we do. But often it'll happen when we are so back against the wall, when we haven't had enough space. Because you know that you care deeply about your clients. You know what you want to give them the best possible outcome, but without systems in place, that's what we're talking about today, your care isn't coming across. It can look like we're a little messy. And once some of these elements are affected, we start to impact our growth. When everything depends on you and only you become chained to your business. You're not leading it, it's leading you. It's dictating the hours you work, and some. It's dictating whether you can take that half day off. It's dictating what your thoughts are going to be filled with when you lay down to sleep at night. It's dictating the emotions you feel when you wake up. And when you are stuck doing $20 an hour tasks, you are not creating space for your potential. You're not even looking at the $2,000 an hour CEO level decisions, the ones that actually move the needle in your business. And that really hurts your business. That you might say, Susie, but I don't make $2,000 an hour. I'm talking about decisions and work that is valuable, that is $2,000 an hour work, thinking work, deep work. Because you're smart, you're capable, you're driven. But if your day is consumed by small tasks, you're robbing yourself of the chance to play that bigger game, to make that business truly yours. And if this conversation is agitating you, then good. Because I want us to get real. I want you to get into action and get the support you need to get back on track. Because delegation, automation, systemization, they will grow your business. But it's going to take some time of you putting time into those things. So the cost of these small tasks goes beyond the hours of your life that you're using. We have to think about the opportunity cost of who we could become, what our business could become, if you stepped outside of the weeds and into your true CEO role. And I say CEO very deliberately. I encourage our members to call themselves the CEO, not the founder, not the director, the CEO, the top of the top of the top of your business. And I've talked about this idea of stepping into this role many times. And this is the excuse that will often come up. But Susie, I have to do these tasks. If no one does them, then things fall through the cracks. I'm so busy, I can't focus on other things. Yes, we are all very busy. I'm not taking away from the fact that you are super busy. Running a business is busy. There are non-negotiable tasks that need to get done. And sometimes you can't just push a deadline forward. But I don't think that's the root of the problem. I think it's something deeper. I know for me, filling my time with lower level tasks can feel safer. It's easier for me to write an email to my email list or to book myself, another appointment. It's harder for me to put a pitch to the media or to book myself on a big stage with a big live audience. It's easier to fill my morning with admin than it is to film that course that I know could bring in revenue. Being busy feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like I'm being productive. And for many women business owners, staying busy isn't actually about getting things done. It's a bit of a shield. It shields us from growth, from big decisions. Growth means change, stretching ourselves, going into an uncomfortable place where things are not familiar. Change means making decisions you're not 100% ready for yet, trusting others, and that can feel terrifying. And it shields us from visibility because if you're too busy to pitch, like I said, for me, to get on stages or get on a podcast or post a video, what happens? You don't risk being judged. It shields us from opportunity because staying busy is the perfect excuse for not scaling, not hiring, not saying yes to the next level offer. And it gives us this illusion of control. We know, like, if I do it, at least I know it's being done right. How many times have you heard yourself say that? I know I've heard myself say that. But that isn't control. It's actually a cage. It's captivity. It's being chained to the business. So you have to force yourself to not get comfortable with the busyness, not love being busy. You have to create systems around you to make space for that creativity, your inspiration, the unique value that only you can bring to your business. And before we dive into how to create that time and space and systems, I want to run through some red flags that indicate that you might be stuck in this trap. The real reason your business isn't growing. Because sometimes being stuck in the day-to-day, I'm sorry, I've got a bit of a runny nose today, so if you're hearing funny noises, it's me using a tissue. I want to run through some red flags that indicate that you are stuck in a trap, because sometimes it doesn't look like chaos. It looks like productivity, but there's something underneath it. So let's run through some of these scenarios. 1, you're a bottleneck. Everything needs to go through you. Approvals, decisions, communication. If you step away, everything grinds to a halt. Number 2 is you can't really take a break, a holiday, a long weekend, even a day without you checking the phone. If you can't do that, that is a red flag. Or your to-do list is filled with repetitive tasks, things like posting on social media, answering return emails, sending invoices, things that could be automated or delegated. Or this one, you're constantly saying, I just need to get through this week. But you've been saying this for months, sometimes years. Another example is you don't have time to plan or to dream. That strategic thinking, the goal setting, the big picture vision, it all gets pushed aside because there's more urgent, busy work. Or you're always busy but don't feel like you're being effective. You end the day exhausted but not really sure if you made any progress on things that really matter. And finally, your business depends entirely on you. If you got sick, if you stepped away for a single day, the business pauses. Longer than that, and it might fall apart. And even if you pride yourself on being a solopreneur, a scalable business, a business that grows, is going to take bringing in other people to help do some of the things. Even if right now you're like, Susie, I don't want staff, then you're going to have limited growth, my friend. That is what I know. Because you have a capacity. You're human. You have a capacity. So if you're happy to grow as far as you can grow and be solo and not get support, then great. But here's the thing. Are you doing tasks that take you longer than anyone else to do or that are not in your skill set? Right? Really think about that. If you're nodding to any of those red flags, take this as your signal. It is time to shift. It is time to put your attention on this problem, because sure, you can keep a business running by staying in this day-to-day slog. You might even hit a level of success, especially if you're hardworking and talented and dedicated to your clients. And I have one friend, she's like at the top of her game in what she does. She can charge, thousands of dollars a day, but it's still just her. It's still just her. It's still just her getting exhausted, working all the hours, being up all the hours, sacrificing time with family in order to do that. But true growth, sustainable, scalable, freedom-filled growth, it doesn't come from staying stuck in the daily doing. There's always going to be things you have to do. I'm not saying you have to hand off everything, but if the bulk of your energy is spent on the menial or repetitive tasks, you've essentially become your own employee, not the CEO of your business. So take on that title, because you are the CEO. And claiming that title is not egoic. It's about ownership. It's recognizing that your business won't grow unless you grow. It's a title change I'm always encouraging HerBusiness Network members to take on, because there's power in our words. There's power in a title. It reminds you of what you're meant to be doing each day. So call yourself CEO, not just the owner, not just the founder, not just the chief bottle washer. You are the CEO of your business. And that is the most important shift that you can make mentally. Making the shift from busy, overworked business owner to CEO requires action. It requires you to show up differently. I'm going to give you a few questions that you can ask yourself to see, am I doing something that I should be delegating or automating? So, question number 1, does this need me? If a task requires your unique voice, your strategy, your relationships, like high-level client calls or visionary planning, then you want to keep that personal and keep it to yourself. You can be in charge there. For example, I present almost all our workshops and the majority of the HerBusiness events because they need me. I'm the best person suited for the role. I'm the one that does this podcast. But other tasks, like scheduling social media, they don't need me. For years, I was writing and posting in real time just about every day, or at least when I remembered or had time to, and it was totally exhausting. And when we created a content calendar and started batching posts and scheduling in advance, it didn't just save hours, but the quality of my content improved as well because I could think it through. I could create a story arc. I could think forward to what needed to be posted when in order to lead up to a launch, for example. And then I could do the thinking, but I didn't have to do the image creation and the writing and the scheduling. Okay, some tasks don't need you in every step. So the question is, does this task need me to do it? Second question, can someone else do it just as well or even better? Now, delegate anything that doesn't require your specific expertise. And I know that you might need to do this over time, but it could be scheduling socials, just like I mentioned, or admin, or tech setup, or customer service. These are all prime examples that are ready for delegation. I'm great at some things. I'm also terrible at a lot of things. But guess what? I have a team that can do those other things that I'm bad at so much better than I can. And it gives me time to step back into the CEO role and do that CEO level thinking. So question number 2, can someone else do this as well or even better? Question number 3 is this repeatable? If you do something more than once, and definitely if you do it regularly, systemize it. Templates, checklists, automations, these all free up time without sacrificing quality. And establishing systems is such a crucial part of business, and it's sometimes something that we are not prioritizing, but inside of HerBusiness, it is just part of our culture. When we start something new, when we do something more than once, you can bet that there is a system. There's a document that outlines the step-by-step on how to do something so that the next time we do it, there's a template for it, right? Because I don't want, I'm happy to envision the system the first time or to work with the team member to map it out, but then I just want to let go of it. It also saves you a whole lot of time when you're onboarding staff. Every time, for instance, when I was bringing on a new team member, I was reinventing the wheel, remembering what to tell them and when and what needed to be done. And when I built the onboarding checklist and we recorded a few training videos, I felt far less stressed and my new team members were able to get up to speed so much faster. So that's number 3. Is this repeatable? Therefore, should it be systemized? And the question number 4 is, does this even need to be done at all? And this is the hardest one to reckon with. If, like me, you're a bit of a perfectionist, you want to get everything done exactly how you want it done, right? But the thing is, not everything deserves your time. If a task doesn't drive results or align with your goals, you can give yourself permission to simply not do it, even if you've always done it. I can't remember what project we were doing. Oh, it was something to do with a process in our podcast, but it's like, you know what? Why do we still do that? We don't need to do that anymore. And while it might take someone 15 minutes, that 15 minutes they could be doing with something else. So we just nixed it. So this is your business. You get to follow your rules, your business, your rules, right? That's the tagline for this show. So give yourself permission to remove tasks that no longer serve you. And sometimes we build up systems because we have a particular offering and then that offering goes away and we're still, sort of catering to that. Your business, your rules. And just because you see others doing things a certain way doesn't mean you have to. I recently asked members in our HerBusiness network how their lives and businesses changed when they finally escaped the day-to-day tasks. And we had so many people write in. Because I said, this month, as you know, we're focusing on systems. Tell me, what has changed when you implemented systems? And so Justine Kirk, who's a guest here on the show, she said the simple act of hiring a VA, a virtual assistant, has changed so much. She no longer worries about the tasks that her VA can do, and her time has been freed up to build a brand new program over the last few months. A program, by the way, which she sold out on the very first go. That is high-level CEO work. I've created a program, now I need to fill it. That is better than worrying about the tasks that her VA is now doing. And the wonderful Chandra Moran, who's CEO at the Transit Lounge, she said having a system for creating social media videos has not just freed up time, but has made that content even better than before. So she's created a system to come up with content ideas, bullet points on topics, a spreadsheet to track the progress, and it's all made the process so much easier for her and her virtual assistant who is doing part of that process. Another member, Anna James, she's the CEO of Sahovian, and I love how these women are using the title of CEO. She's been finally able to focus on big stuff rather than just working day to day in her business. And she has a business where she will answer your calls and qualify clients. So it's like a virtual reception is one of the offices, or is one of the things that she offers. But she also does appointment booking for different practices and things. Anyway, she built a system to automate the creation of her articles. And so she writes articles to promote the business. She said a task that used to take a full day now takes 30 minutes. And she has had so much growth because of it. And she said her new system means that the team no longer has to rely on her for everything. She's even taken a 5-week holiday because of it. And the business is running smoothly. 5-week holiday. That's pretty massive, Anna. So take a look at your days. Your tasks don't just take your time. They take your energy. And you want to ask yourself those 4 questions that I mentioned. Does this need me? Can someone else do this as well or even better? Is this repeatable, therefore should be systemized? Does this even need to be done at all? I know that sometimes the saying, I'll do it myself, feels faster. Not the saying. I know that sometimes saying, I'll do it myself feels faster, but it keeps you stuck. It's not a saying. It would be a terrible saying if it were. So delegating, systemization, dropping tasks completely, that's where freedom and growth come from. And remember that the cost of being stuck in the day-to-day is not just time. It's your energy, it's your freedom, it's your potential, it's lost opportunities. And I don't want you to miss out on the business and life that you're here to build because you're focused on running your business like someone else runs theirs or a pattern that you've fallen into. Your business, your rules. You get to run this the way you want, in a way that brings you freedom and inspiration and clarity and growth and loads of money. And that means you don't have to hold up your team or get dragged into doing tasks that you hate. You get to be the CEO of this business. You get to do it your way. All right? I want to know how you go. I would so appreciate hearing from you. Now, you can do this in a couple of ways. You can write to us at podcast@herbusiness.com. Those messages get sent to me. You can leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. I read every single comment. Or you can even come on over to her business account over on Instagram and message me. And it makes my day when I hear how these episodes give you even the smallest aha moment. So make sure you don't miss any upcoming episodes by subscribing to the show. If you are not already subscribed, hit follow or subscribe. We've got some really exciting guests coming onto the show over the next few months, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of them. Now, I want to invite you, if you are not a member of our beautiful Her Business community, you can apply to join. The turnaround time right now is about 72 hours. We get your application in, we ask you a few questions about your business, your goals over the next 12 months, and if we feel like you are a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you, then we will offer you a place in our network. That is how you can join. So head over to herbusinessnetwork.com to go ahead and apply. I cannot wait for you to see what was going on inside of the network over the next few months. We've got some really cool things coming up. So go ahead and apply. And if you enjoyed this episode, as I said, leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, shoot me a direct message on Instagram, just get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Now, on our website at herbusiness.com/332, you're going to find a summary of today's episode, as well as links to the resources that we've discussed. And if you're new to the show, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week, right here on the Her Business Podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.